Hi everyone, welcome back to the best recapped movie. Wrath of Man is an action thriller starring Jason Statham in 2021, directed by Guy Ritchie. In Los Angeles, two agents are killed in a robbery of an armored truck, but the killing of an ordinary citizen leads to events that lead to a mysterious story that we will discuss today. Spoilers ahead. At first, an agent, as if they are going to move cargo, gets on the truck complaining that it is old, and after they leave, the driver asks him to pour a sufficient amount for him. It doesn't take long before a truck blocks its way under a bridge, and people dressed as workers attack them. After cutting a part of the door, they disarm them with a sound bomb and try to steal bags that seem to contain money, and several people are killed during the mission. Then, it can be seen that a person named Patrick Hill enters Fortico Security for employment. One of the company's supervisors, Terry Rossi, explains that this company protects the money of private organizations such as casinos, private banks, etc. So working in it because it is dangerous also has a good salary. After asking and answering from him, he finds out that he is divorced. The officer's trainer, nicknamed Bullet, enters, and after a little talk, he explains to him that to pass the recruitment test, he must score at least 70. By passing the tests, including physical fitness, driving, and shooting, he can hardly pass there with the minimum score. While the company's agents prepare themselves, Bullet introduces Patrick to the others and gives him the nickname H. After showing him his closet, he introduces him to Boy Sweat Dave and Hollow Bob, then he takes him to the ammunition depot to get a weapon from the armorer. He asks Patrick to treat the gun properly and return it to him safe and sound on time. A little later, he meets the traffic agent there, Sticky John, and when he wants to start his first mission with Dave, he warns him that they are not hunters but hunted. Anyway, with the help of the Bullet and Dave, he completes his first mission well, and Bullet informs him that John must see them to open the entrance door. After that, the agents go to the company's private club to enjoy billiards and drinking, and the Bullet asks him to join them. He enters the club with a little delay, and looking at the photos, he seems to be doing something. Dana Curtis is playing with Dave, and John is talking to his friends at another table. A little later, he joins Patrick and Bullet and teasingly asks him if he wants to get him a drink. Patrick says no and asks him not to disturb his game. After a little talk about his previous job, this time, Patrick mockingly puts money in his pocket and tells him to go buy yourself a drink and get out of here. After a short pause and staring, John leaves them, and the Bullet tells Patrick he is a social relations wizard. After that, in one of the missions, some robbers take Bullets hostage and inform them by wireless to hand over the truck and money to them. Dave panics, saying they should return to the company and inform the police. Still, Patrick sees this as a sign of his weakness and informs him that the Bullet is their friend and they should go as soon as possible to save him. While very scared, Dave is in a situation where he has to accept, and they drive towards the thieves. Guided by the hostage takers while another car is chasing them, they reach their destination, and the robbers take out the Bullet from the car and ask them to hand over the bags full of money. While Dave doesn't know what to do, Patrick goes to the back of the car to transfer the money to their car but drops a sack on the ground. The mafia boss gets angry and tells him he will kill the Bullet if he tries to play a trick. The driver gets out to put Bag, who is on the ground, into the car when suddenly Patrick kills him. After him, in disbelief, he kills all the robbers one after the other with his quick and accurate shots, and finally, he goes after the robber. He finally catches him by shooting him in the leg. At the last moment, he tells him who he works for, but he refuses to say it, and in the end he is also killed by Patrick. Bullet and Dave catch up to him and are shocked by his shooting power. After this incident, two FBI agents ask Patrick to come inside after questioning the Bullet, and they are also surprised by his accurate shooting because his scores in the entrance exam were low. They ask him to look at a video of a past robbery to find a connection between the two and maybe identify someone. Looking at the video, Patrick goes deep into it and focuses only on one of the killers. He informs them that he does not know any of them, and after that, Terry asks him to go to a psychiatrist and rest for a while because of this incident, but he does not accept. The head of the company also joins them and praises his work and asks Terry to promote him instead of punishing him and giving him leave. After that, the FBI agents call their superior, Agent King. They tell him their suspicions, and it seems Patrick does not have a good record, but Agent King warns them that he is not looking for money and to have nothing to do with him. At night, a woman named Kirsty comes to Patrick. She gives him documents of all the information of the Fortico security employees, including the documents related to Dana and the autopsy reports, and the next day, when he comes to work, everyone cheers him on. 3 months later, during his mission in a Chinese neighborhood, some robbers attacked them again and made them leave the truck by creating smoke in it. But when Patrick gets out of the car and shows his face, the head of the thieves gets scared and orders the others to run away. Mike and Maggie, members of the gang, are shocked to see him, and after this, the company bosses suspect him because the thieves had fled when they saw him. On the other hand, while talking to Dave, the bullet tells him that the thieves knew him, and when they saw him, they ran away as if they saw an evil spirit. Patrick approaches Dana, and they sleep together. Still, shortly after, he asks her to get dressed because he needs to talk to her about something. He finds an envelope of money and threatens to explain without dodging where the money came from because he suspects she is an infiltrator of the company connected with the thieves. After interrogating her, Dana says that she stole $125,000 so that she could use it as a savings, and it turns out that she is not the contact of the thieves. With a flashback to 5 months ago, Patrick is on vacation with his son, Dougie, and it turns out that Mike is one of his people. In a call, he asks him to monitor the path of an armored truck and report it, and Patrick reluctantly agrees. He gets in the car with his son, stops on the street under the pretext of eating, and reports the truck's direction to Mike. Dougie is listening to music in the car when someone with a gun asks him to get out and surrender, and he sees one of the robbers shooting at the officers. Patrick hears the gunshot and runs toward him, but it's too late, and Dougie is killed. The killer, who has a wound on his face, also shoots Patrick, and he falls to the ground, and Patrick making sure not to miss his face. 3 weeks later, he is miraculously saved from death after 2 surgeries, but the doctor informs him that his son has been killed. When he meets his wife, she blames him for the death of their son and tells him that you are an insensitive bitch and then leaves him. Then, in a meeting with FBI agent King, he receives a list of suspected criminals, and the FBI agent temporarily agrees to turn a blind eye to the events. It is revealed that Patrick's real name is Mason Hargreaves, and he is the head of a crime gang. When Mike and Maggie want to see him after this incident, they accept responsibility for this incident during their conversation together. Mike promises him that they will do everything they can to avenge Dougie's death. Then they kill all the members of the criminal list after interrogating them to find the killer, but they still can't find him. They find the last person on the list, Dominic, and torture him to reveal the killer, but he refuses. However, Patrick forces him to talk by threatening his wife. He is finally forced to speak and says that the most likely group of suspects are the Gashi brothers, who are full of crime, including human trafficking, theft, drugs, etc. Then Patrick asks Mike to let him go and give him some money. They give him, and after that, they cannot find them again by searching in that band. Patrick angrily kills them all, forcing Mike to react. He gets into his car and tells him that this killing will only bring a bad name to them and the search to find them is useless. After that, he goes to one of his contacts named Kirsty, and she creates a fake resume and name for him. For example, he has worked for 11 years in a European security company called Delta Orange without any bad background. This is where he is employed at Fortico Security to achieve his goal of killing his son's killer. With a flashback to 5 months ago, Jackson seems to be the head of another crime gang with his group members named Brad, Sam, Tom, Carlos, and Jan, planning to rob a rich Afghan. However, stealing from him does not satisfy them because they work for someone else, and their income is halved, so with the approval of the head of the group, they decide to take bigger risks. Jan is the young villain of the group, and the others don't feel good about him. However, Jackson believes he is just a soldier in the group's service. By planning another attack on a van full of money, they manage to handle this mission well. After that, they hold a family party together for this success on Jackson's birthday. At this party, he tells his men that he has a gift, a mission in which they earn $6 million by stealing a van and have a good connector there, and Lee Jackson emphasizes that to succeed in this project, he needs 6 weeks of training and identification. Their mission begins, and a little later, Patrick parks the car on the side of the road to fulfill Mike's request, and Jackson explains to Jan that he has no problem with this. 3 minutes later, the truck arrives and begins the robbery operation according to the group's plan. Sam goes to Dougie and tells him to get off, but on the other side, one of the Fortico security agents, who has a gun in his hand, attacks Jan even though his colleague tells him not to. But it doesn't work, and Jan kills them both. And from where he doesn't want to leave a trace, he shoots at Dougie and kills him. After him, he shoots at Patrick, and then they leave with the money. Now, Jackson gathers everyone around the table again and tells Jan to be happy they are still together. He tells them about the riskiness of the next project, and Brad and Carlos emphasize that achieving more demands requires higher risk. Jackson explains that the future mission is risky to death, but the reward is so great that they and their children should not work for the rest of their lives. He explains that they will attack the main base instead of the truck on Black Friday and get a reward of $150 million. Also, 8 weeks of surveillance and training are required. During this time, they design plans to get a lot of money by targeting the company itself. Finally, the day comes, and Terry warns the agents that they must collect a lot of money because of Black Friday and they should use their concentration more than before. On the other hand, after his children leaves, Jackson hugs his wife a little more than before and says goodbye to her, then calls his spy in the company that everything is ready. Patrick and Bullet's truck is the last truck that does the loading, and they move toward the company. Still, on the way, Bullet tells him in disbelief that he is an infiltrator of his friends in the company, and he is the one who tells his friends which truck they should steal from. He explains that they need a lot of money to stop this forever and warns Patrick that his gun is empty and asks him to bring them in without hesitation or he will lose his life. Patrick accepts and Bullet takes the truck to where the camera signal is interrupted so that he can get the gang of robbers into the car and lies to John that there is a problem and he will solve it soon. Johnson and his team, who equip themselves with bulletproof vests and helmets, handcuff Patrick and go to the back of the truck. Sam and Johnson move behind them to signal the team to enter later. After the truck arrives, they immediately start the attack and take Patrick to the money cells, where they disarm them and ask them to lie on the ground and surrender. Unbeknownst to them, Dana and Stewart are busy with their work, and the robbers pretend to kill the Bullet and use him as bait to disarm the warehouse officials. John immediately sounds the alarm, and Armorer and his team prepare to shoot them. Still, the Bullet asks him to surrender and open the gate, or they will all be killed. When Armorer arms himself, he shoots at them, and the shooting starts, and they are forced to use bombs to enter the gate. After they enter, they kill a large number of agents, including the Armorer, from where they are equipped with bulletproof vests, and then handcuff John and turn off the alarm. Brad is also shot and injured in this shooting. Later, Johnson and Sam enter, and with their help together, they pour the money into the bag. On the other hand, Shirley joins Dana and Stewart while Stewart reports the theft to the police. Shirley tells them that he doesn't want to wait for the task force and shoots at the robbers who are emptying the money but is soon killed. Patrick uses this opportunity and shoots Fred in the leg above his head, knocking him to the ground. He still suffocates him, but by removing his hat, he realizes that he is Carlos and not his son's killer, and after kills him, he frees Dave and Terry. He uses Carlos's clothes and kills Sam after throwing his hat and then puts a phone into one of the bags. On the other hand, Dana decides to stand up to them, and a little later, Dave also encounters one robber. He gets shot, and while wearing a bulletproof vest, his breathing stops, but Patrick arrives and engages with Tom. After a hard fight, after the gun cartridges run out, he kills him with a knife. Johnson, who has trouble dealing with the shootings of Dana and Stewart, points to the Bullet to kill them, and he immediately kills them by taking the gun from Stewart. When the danger is removed from their side, they immediately decide to run away with the truck, but at the last moment, Patrick shoots at them and injures one of them. Dave also shoots at Brad and kills him, and with the exchange of heavy shots between them, the Bullet finally comes from behind and shoots at Patrick, killing him. He then goes to Dave and lies that he needs help, when he comes out from behind the wall, he kills him. Patrick's eyes are still open as he sees his son's killer driving to leave the place, and shortly after, the truck pulls away the police cars that were parked in front of the entrance, and they run away. Johnson, even though he is bleeding profusely from the shooting, asks them to proceed according to the plan despite the police chasing them. They lead the truck to an abandoned basement and obstruct the movement of the police officers by creating obstacles. According to the plan, they will go to one of the most abandoned underground tunnels, where the police have no information. Jan and the Bullet drain the money to get it out of the tunnel, and Johnson gradually loses all his strength from blood loss, yet he intends to kill Jan. He comes and prevents this and kills him with a knife while checking his back. Then, he enters the elevator and informs Bullet that he is dead. After a distance of 3 kilometers, they bring the money to the end of the tunnel with a motorbike, and there is a car with which they have to escape. Jan tries to open the door, and the Bullet is going to kill him, but it is too late, and it is Jan who kills him. He is the only one who is alive and takes the money and leaves, and on the other hand, the police lose him because of the vast underground networks. Jan drives to his hideout and pours himself a drink at night after showering. But a message comes to his phone, and at the same time, he hears the phone ringing from inside one of the money bags, and when he opens it, he finds the phone. Suddenly, he realizes Patrick is behind him, who says he did not come for money, and throws documents for him to read. It turns out that the documents are related to his son's autopsy, which describes the exact place where the bullets hit. Ultimately, Patrick shoots the same points of his body with consecutive and accurate shots and takes revenge. He leaves the building and informs Agent King that he is done, then gets into a car and drives away. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.